Hi, it's Nero here from Investment Rise, and as I record this episode in late November 2020, I've got a question for you. Where are all the distressed sales that so many people were talking about? You might remember back in March and April of 2020, which was the peak of the coronavirus in Australia, so many of our banks got together and offered home loan deferrals. So what that meant is that many homeowners or even property investors were able to essentially pay nothing on their house loans for 6 months. So no interest, nothing off the principals. It was a 6-month essentially home loan repayment holiday. And that's the best way to describe it. It was a holiday and a pause from having to make those repayments. And at the time, at the peak of it, there were 900,000 home loan deferrals. Yeah, nearly a million home loan deferrals. And so what happened? Well, all the property doomsdayers came out and said, oh, look, it's carnage for the property market. Just wait and see what happens after this 6-month period finishes. Property prices are going to drop. And they all came out with some ridiculous amounts. But what's happened? Well, as I said now, we're at the end of November. And according to new data from the Australian Banking Association, that figure of 900,000 home loan deferrals is now down to 145,000 home loan deferrals, especially with our major banks. That's a drop of 80%. So that means 80% of everyone who deferred their home loan has now just gone back and making repayments and everything's okay. And the banks expected, based on their data, this figure will drop even more. So the fact is, there will be no mass forced sell-off. Sure, you may have the odd person here or there, yes, but the fact is you're not going to have a huge number. And this is even going to be reinforced by the fact that the Commonwealth Bank of Australia recently came out, and when I say recently, it was in early November of this year, they came out and said that they're putting a total freeze on forced home sales for anyone affected by the coronavirus. And that freeze is on from November of this year all the way until September of 2021. That's 10 months that this Commonwealth Bank is giving their customers who are affected by the coronavirus to be able to get back on their feet. And I expect that you're going to see more of our banks offer something similar as well. So what does this all mean? Well, essentially, it means that if you're someone who's been waiting for there to be blood on the streets, if you've been someone who's waiting for this so-called September fiscal cliff, and for our economy to fall over this cliff, well, we're in November and it hasn't happened. If you're waiting for property prices to fall, well, I'm sorry, you're probably going to be disappointed. I mean, we have data from CoreLogic that says that in October, average property prices rose across Australia, and I expect that's going to continue for some time yet. We also have large supply issues. So many people looking to buy property, many investors, they're struggling to find property because the demand is far outweighing the supply. So with no mass sell-offs, with supply issues, with a number of other demand factors that I've spoken about in earlier videos, it's no wonder that many of the banks are coming out and saying that they expect property prices to rise. In fact, in my last episode, I mentioned how Westpac expects that property prices will rise significantly over the coming few years, led by the Brisbane and many areas of the Queensland market. Well, now we have ANZ coming out and say they expect significant property price growth as well. So as I said, if you're a property bear, well, and if you're someone or a doomsdayer who took pleasure in scaring people about what the property market was going to do, well, I'm sorry, but the data shows that you were wrong. But if you're someone who's been wondering if now is a good time to buy property and what's the future for the property market, well, it certainly seems like it's good news. I, for one, am very optimistic about the property market in the coming few years, and I certainly hope you are too. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video valuable and you're thinking you might like my help to help you find an investment property, then head on over to nerocall.com to discover our unique 5-step process that's helped my private client group purchased now well over $66.2 million worth of property. And then, if you like what you see, you can book in for a half-hour phone consult with me personally. Either way, thanks again for watching.